Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And guys, we're going to go over Bitcoin really quick, and then I'm going to let you watch a video, and then I'll be right back. Basically, Bitcoin right now, basically is still steady. It's like at 6,800. Basically, still over $1. So unless we come under $1 for the stable coins, then basically we'll head down a little lower also. So guys, remember, that's what we're focused on right now. It's an easy indicator, is the stable coins to let us know where actually Bitcoin is headed. Now, basically, Trump buys 75 million barrels of oil. Now, guys, we know that this is all planned. This is what I teach you. They just happen to buy oil when oil is at its lowest price. This is stock up. So don't forget that you have the oil contract. So the big guys are going to still get paid for like a whole year for the old price. So they're not being hurt by this event. It's only the little guys that they're trying to push out. And then, of course, they'll raise oil back up. Now, just like I said, oil is never going to get back to the prices that it used to be. But this right here is just a way to squeeze out the little guy. And basically, if you watch my channel, you understand that. But one quick note before I let you go and let you look at the video is that, of course, we're going to switch economies with China. They're going to have hyperinflation, and we're going to have hyper deflation. And I'm going to let Nixon basically tell you this all the way back during the 70s. But yes, we're going to have hyper deflation. And the fact is that China's going to have hyperinflation because they're going to bring hundreds of millions of people out of poverty into middle class. And then, of course, because the United States is no longer a manufacturer, because we're just a service company, they have to devalue us and go up. As you can see, the oil prices went down, but the Petro dollar, the dollar was just as strong. It was going up. So we know the fundamentals are out the window, guys. Out the window. The dollar is just as strong as it's ever been. But I'm going to let you go, and I'll be right back.
The third indispensable element in building the new prosperity is closely related to creating new jobs and halting inflation. We must protect the position of the American dollar as a pillar of monetary stability around the world. In the past 7 years, there's been an average of one international monetary crisis every year. Now, who gains from these crises? Not the working man, not the investor, not the real producers of wealth. The gainers are the international money speculators. Because they thrive on crises, they help to create them. In recent weeks, the speculators have been waging an all-out war on the American dollar. The strength of a nation's currency is based on the strength of that nation's economy. And the American economy is by far the strongest in the world. Accordingly, I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States. Now, what is this action, which is very technical, what does it mean for you? Let me lay to rest the bugaboo of what is called devaluation. If you want to buy a foreign car or take a trip abroad, market conditions may cause your dollar to buy slightly less. But if you are among the overwhelming majority of Americans who buy American-made products in America, your dollar will be worth just as much tomorrow as it is today. The effect of this action, in other words, will be to stabilize the dollar. Now, this action will not win us any friends among the international money traders. But our primary concern is with the American workers and with fair competition around the world. To our friends abroad, including the many responsible members of the international banking community who are dedicated to stability in the flow of trade, I give this assurance. The United States has always been and will continue to be a forward-looking and trustworthy trading partner. In full cooperation with the International Monetary Fund and those who trade with us, we will press for the necessary reforms to set up an urgently needed new international monetary system. Stability and equal treatment is in everybody's best interest. I am determined that the American dollar must never again be a hostage in the hands of international speculators. I'm taking one further step to protect the dollar, to improve our balance of payments, and to increase jobs for Americans. As a temporary measure, I am today imposing an additional tax of 10% on goods imported into the United States. This is a better solution for international trade than direct controls on the amount of imports. This import tax is a temporary action. It isn't directed against any other country. It's an action to make certain that American products will not be at a disadvantage because of unfair exchange rates. When the unfair treatment is ended, the import tax will end as well. As a result of these actions, the product of American labor will be more competitive, and the unfair edge that some of our foreign competition has will be removed. This is a major reason why our trade balance has eroded over the past 15 years.
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Finance Minister, the Minister for State, and the Deputy Economy and Planning Minister. And the question on everyone's minds is how can the kingdom manage its expenses while oil prices remain in the doldrums?
We are working actively to end our dependence on a single commodity to develop a diverse economic base that is stable and sustainable for the future.
Setting up new industries requires time. For now, the government has had to cut spending to limit its deficit. That's taken the wind out of the sails for new projects, like the King Abdullah Financial District. This 1.6 million square meter project is billed as the next business hub of the Middle East. The kingdom has pumped nearly $10 billion into the construction of the King Abdullah Financial District. But more than a decade after the project was announced, it resembles a ghost town. It's already a year behind schedule and there are no construction crews in sight. Now the government plans to offer tax breaks and other incentives to kickstart the stalled project. New business deals worth more than $300 billion with US companies are expected to provide a much-needed boost to the economy. And the government hopes restoring salaries and bonuses after temporary cuts announced last year will spur domestic spending. But analysts say coming up with money is not the only challenge, and that the government has to change mindsets to make the economy competitive.
And we need to know and acknowledge that this is not just an economic transformation, but rather a socio-economic transformation that needs the cooperation of different entities of the government and the engagement of the population. Obviously, changing the mindset of entitlement is difficult, but these challenges can be overcome, but not easily, and without doing this, nothing is possible.
In a recent consultation, the International Monetary Fund advised the kingdom to slow down on some of its reform initiatives to maintain a fiscal balance. But slowing down too much brings the risk of losing traction on the progress achieved so far, a risk the kingdom cannot afford.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher, and guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family. It's a very imperative time we get back to learning how the world really works and also understanding finances. So guys, we're going to go over the economy. We have Uber landing an $810 million government contract. As we know, Uber and Lyft, the whole goal is a move to driverless cars. I've talked about this plenty of time. Automation, AI, so that's the goal. We have to stay focused on that. We have to invest in these things because we know what's going to happen later part of the year and then plus next year. Now, of course, we have the Fed FOMC meeting that's coming up on the 28th and 29th. We need to make sure that we are watching out for that, listening for key points in their speech. They always let the hand loose. That's just part of Freemasonry. We have the government with the new stimulus plan, $470 billion. So, of course, most likely they'll be giving out more free money. Remember, the whole point of this is to bring on fintech, cryptos. We have Wells Fargo back in the news, basically moving around paycheck protection program so they could get more fees. As far as that goes, we know the bank is going to keep stealing as long as they can. Now, going over the video, guys, as far as what Nixon, Henry Kissinger, I did a video about Henry Kissinger, about the New World Order. And then also, this is on my website, btcteacher.com, and also in my book. I just go over briefly how the petrodollar came to life. You know, it hasn't been that long ago, though. You know, it's 40-some years is not long. But it enabled them to buy up everything with this fake money. And basically, once they took us off the gold standard, it was unlimited supply for money. And basically, the only thing they did was attach it to the oil. So when they made the deal with Saudi Arabia, hey, we protect you, our military, and you only move your oil in U.S. dollars. And that's how we ended up getting the middle class in the United States and a lot of other places in the Western Hemisphere. But guys, when you look at the speech of Nixon, he said, as long as you have a United States, you got to laugh when you hear it because it's amazing. And this is all about the New World Order, guys. And you know this speech was written for him. And all presidents, all their speeches are written by a speechwriter. But he said that as long as the product is made in America, you never have to worry about hyperinflation. Guys, this is amazing. You won't have to worry about it being divided. I mean, he's lying up a storm. But the fact is that now we look back and we can see this and how calculated it was. Because you can imagine people back then listening to it. Oh, we're going to be fine. Everything's made in the U.S. We're fine. Now we are the products of all the, if you go listen to all the leaders and presidents that were actually in the people's favor, they stated that if you allow the banks to do what they're doing right now, your children will be slaves to the banks. And now you see it. I mean, now you really see it. Because right now what they're doing is that they're trying to get of course, the U.S. frackers, all these United States oil companies bankrupt. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to there's no reason for you to be in business if oil is anywhere from $10, $15 a barrel. Of course, it went negative, but we know it's going to rise back up. But I don't see it going over $20 again until they're done getting everybody out. And that's all this is about. So, guys, we must focus on the plan. And as long as you understand there's a plan, you're going to be looking, where is the next move? Remember, that's what I teach you. Crypto chess. Learn the next move. If you understand the next move, you're going to be ahead of it. So then therefore, you don't have to worry about what the masses are going to be worried about. But please, guys, make sure that you're letting your friends and family, educating them on this. Because my book, The Cryptoteacher, is about a year and a half old. The NWO book is about 4 years old. So I've been saying this for a long time. But the fact is that when we see this coming to light, it's scary. Because the fact is that you're saying to yourself, how are they able to do it? And the people are not going to fall for it. That's how I always look at, well, the people are not going to fall for it. And that's the opposite. Now people are defending people with the C word. They're defending people not going to work. No, you shouldn't go to work. No, you shouldn't open the economy. You have a family to feed. You have bills to pay. And you're saying you shouldn't have to go back to work. Like, that makes no sense to me. But unfortunately, they have dumbed down the people so bad. And fear is spread so easily. It's out of this world. But it's definitely amazing. We have to wake as many people as possible right now. It's definitely important. But guys, that's all I have for you. Please like and subscribe. As I said, tell your friends and family. Thank those who purchased the book, Cryptoteacher NWO book. Also, those who donated to the Cash App. Patreon, much love. Don't forget about the cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. If you're new to cryptos, your stocks, guys, make sure you're digging in, finding the stocks, also the emerging markets, Cobalt, gaming stocks, your chip stocks. Never bet against the banks, as we can see. They're just going to turn over to fintech, guys. Never bet against the banks. Also, people are sitting at home. Don't forget about those stocks. Also, you have the C word, the biotech stocks. And then, of course, when everybody's depressed, anxiety, do not forget about the weed and the alcohol stocks. Invest, and y'all have a wonderful day.